Welcome, friends, to episode 57 of the Xbox Friends podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the layoffs and the cancellations from Xbox. Well, it's it's Microsoft, right? But there's a few Xbox cancellations of games and layoffs of some people there. So it's all together because it's all under Microsoft. And there's a PlayStation game coming to Xbox. We'll talk about it later. I am your host, Verdugo, and with me, Maestro. What up, son?
Yeah, what's up, brother? It's been 2 weeks. Been
Two,
a
well,
while.
3 weeks.
I
Three
was
weeks,
away.
right? I mean, 2 weeks we didn't do the podcast, but now it's the third week when we finally get together again.
Right.
Yeah. How you doing? How's your
Yeah, so it's
long
been
vacation?
a little hiatus. Yeah, it was great, man. We went to Cape Cod and then we went to Boston, and we like hung out there for 5 days in each place, or a week in each location. It was nice. It's nice to get away. I haven't had a long vacation, like a 2 week vacation, in probably like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I always take like 4 or 5 days, like here and there, but never like a prolonged vacation. So this is my first
Mm.
vacation in a really long time.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah, it's good.
I mean, earlier this year when I took off the 3 weeks, it wasn't really a vacation, but I think that's the longest I've been outside of the country. You
Yeah,
didn't go outside of the
and you
country,
could.
but yeah.
I didn't, yeah, because I didn't want to get locked out. So
Yeah. Uh, yeah, for me, I played a bunch of games while you were gone since I couldn't do anything. I had to cope with not being able to do this.
yeah, okay.
So I played a couple of games, and then
Uh,
we had a long weekend because of the Independence Day last weekend. So it coincides with my daughter's birthday, so she wanted to go to Orlando. So we went
nice.
to Orlando Thursday, came back
To
Saturday.
Disney?
No, no, we went to Disney last year, so I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna go again to see the same things again. So we did go
Yeah.
to a resort in Disney. So we went to a water park. We did a couple of things. When we went to Disney,
All right.
Disney Springs, which is a big area with a lot of stores. I don't know if you ever heard of
No, no,
Disney
no.
Springs.
I've
No.
only been in Disney once, and it wasn't. It was actually not in the park. It was what's it called? Treasure Island, I think it's called. Or some
Treasure.
there's like a party section, and it's between Universal and Disney. So it's like in, I don't know, somewhere in there. But that's the only, and I've been to Universal Studios, but never
I've
Disney
been there
Disney
too.
World.
Tell me real quick. Are you? I'm gonna be quiet for 2 seconds. You let me know if you hear any noise. Did you hear anything? No. Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So that's what we did over the weekend. Sunday, I just chilled, played the game that I've been playing, which I finished. Yeah, yesterday. And
Okay.
we'll get into it in a minute. Did you get any time to play any games?
Now, while I was
No.
away, I did start a game when I came back, but not while
Yeah,
I was.
you spoiled it for me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. I did tell you. I texted you guys before, so my bad. But we can
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit, and I can give
Okay.
you, because I'm way farther in now. I think I'm towards the end of the game, so we can like kind of discuss a little bit on that.
Okay. So go
But
ahead.
you tell me, since you've been playing more.
Well, so I started playing a game that I'm just gonna go ahead and say the name because I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna go back to it, and I don't think I'm gonna finish it because it was kind of boring for me. Spider-Man 2. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it
avoiding that game.
because it's all the same. If you didn't like
Yeah,
Spider-Man 1 or Miles Morales, you're not gonna like. And I mean you specifically, you Maestro. I'm not talking in
yeah, yeah.
general for anybody else because lots of people
I did
liked it,
not like the
but
first
I
one.
did
Yeah.
not like it. It's boring to me.
Well, you know what? I have heard a lot of people say that the first one was better than the second one.
I
Uh,
believe so. I
Even
mean,
though the second one had better, like obviously like upgraded mechanics and upgraded
yeah,
things,
yeah.
but the first one was like a better game from what I've heard. So,
It's
you
also
know,
because it's the first one, and then with the
right.
second one,
Yeah.
if you get the same. kind of things, it's kind of boring. So to me,
Yep.
I don't see myself going back to finishing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't want to waste money on that, so I'm with
Yeah.
you.
So, yeah,
So-
save your money, buy something else. I'll tell you which game to buy after you tell me yours.
oh,
The one, or tell
okay,
us, I guess.
okay.
So tell the people since I already know.
Okay. You want to tell you now, or you have other
Yeah,
games
yeah,
that
no,
you've been?
I have other games, but go ahead and I did one, you go
Okay,
one.
so yeah, so then when I got back from vacation, I actually got back and the Steam summer sale was going on, right? And I was like, oh
Uh,
damn, like I got a bunch of games. You know, I was looking through the list and I was like, oh, this is dope, this is dope. And then after I got a bunch of games, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try one of these really quick, which was like a arcadey, like you remember the game Super Sprint from like the Nintendo, the
uh,
NES Super Sprint is like Formula One racing, but it was kind of like
top
on
down.
a helicopter view,
Yeah,
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 top view, and then
yeah.
you just kind of like. So it's like a reinvention of that. It's called Nitro Sprint, and it's like an upgraded version of that, new tracks and like new cool looking thing. So I was like, okay, this is cool. It was like $2, I think. It was super cheap. And so then I bought that and I bought a bunch of stuff. And then I'm like, damn, I'm looking at my list. So you know what? I haven't let me start one of these games that I haven't played yet. And Uncharted was the legacy, what is it called? The Uncharted,
Legacy of
the
Thieves.
package, the one that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's like two of them, right? And I was like, okay, let me try this out because I also bought that super cheap. I think I got that on CD Keys. I think it was for like $10 or $15.
Oh,
I don't
ten
remember what it
dollars.
was, but it was
Nice.
cheap. Yeah, it was maybe not 10. Maybe it was like somewhere around $18. But I know it
Oh,
was cheap enough where I'm like, okay, it was like an
I mean,
impulse
you
buy.
get
So
two
I bought it.
games, so
Yeah, exactly. And then I started playing that, and it was like right now where I'm at, it's actually pretty cool. But man, it took a long time for it to get really cool. Dude, it's like I was like 12, 13 chapter. I think I don't remember how many chapters, but I'm like 12 chapters in, and then now it's getting good. I'm like, bro, this is and it's not that that is a bad game by any means. Like it looks
no, it's not.
fantastic. I think the facial animation is like
It's
really. I mean, for when it came out and even till today, is really well done. The physics and the facial animation and the voice acting and all of it. The story, like it's actually really really well done. But as a game, it really lacks as an actual game. Like, and I tell you what happened. So I was in chapter 5, I think it was. And like, dude, the cutscenes was so long that I put down my controller and I was just like watching like if it was a TV show, you know? I was like, bro, how long are these cutscenes? Why are they so long? And like I get it, like they're setting up it's a good story, don't get me wrong. Like it's a good story, but it's
yeah,
like, yo, let me play the game. Why are they so long? And then the problem is that even in between these cutscenes, it's like some BS interactive thing. It's like I don't. You've played the game, right?
yeah. But I was looking
Yeah.
for it
So
to
you
see
know
when I
that
played it. I think it was this year.
there was a chapter in there that you're talking to your wife, like Nate Drake is talking to his wife, right? And it's like a whole sequence, like a whole thing. Is explaining like like I want to. There's this job coming up, but I'm not gonna. Anyway, this is like a whole thing,
Wait,
right?
wait, wait, wait.
And then
Hold on one
in
second. I'm sorry.
between the pre
Th- Are you playing Uncharted 4?
four, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were playing the other one. I forgot the name for it, but the one with the two girls.
The, no, it's the
Okay,
one that came in a
okay.
combo, Uncharted.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's the two games. I thought you started with the other
with
one
the
with the
other
two
one. No,
ladies. Okay,
I started with four because I heard that the fourth one is better
yeah,
out of
I
the
told you
two.
that.
So
I think I was the one who told you that
yeah,
when I played because I played through that also recently. I played through both.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So the fourth one is definitely better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and then what I don't understand is like there's these gameplay, quote unquote, gameplay sections that you're like I was like in the attic and I was just moving around and like click here and then or press a button here
Hmm.
and then he grabs something, puts it down. press a button here, and it's like, did this even need to be like part of this? You know, like this, it
Yeah.
didn't need to be there. It's just like a filler thing, and it didn't provide anything. Like, I get it, like it's telling somewhat of the story because they're like, oh, this photo was taken when blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah,
that's why that's
or
there.
oh, this item. Yeah, but bro, like it just it didn't need to be there. And there's a lot of that. There's like a lot of in between, like with him and his brother. Like you're a little kid and you just all you know it's just
Yeah.
like crawling through stuff, and it's like, okay, well, what? Why is this? Like, if you're gonna have so many cutscenes, then at least make that into a cutscene. So it's tedious because it
Yeah,
doesn't provide anything.
yeah, some
You
of the
know?
parts are like that. Yeah, I remember that part you're talking about in the attic. I was, for me who played the first few games, it makes sense to me because I did go through all of that. I remember some of those things, but you haven't played 1, 2, or 3, so and there was no way for you to
No,
skip it.
no. Well, I mean, you could just go directly downstairs and
Okay.
then it activates the cutscene. So it's like I did nothing here, and then now you're taking me to a cutscene to do nothing. You know, it's like, bro, what? And like the
Oh man.
whole, and I'm telling you, it didn't get decent until like I was driving around in the mud in like the semi-open area, which is not
Yeah.
really open area, but it's kind of
No.
semi-open, you know.
Yeah.
That is when it actually got like interesting, to be honest. But that's like 10 chapters in or more,
Really.
dude. That's
So.
more than that's like 80% of the game that it actually got interesting. And then it's like there's nothing to upgrade. The only item that you get is
Yeah.
the little like grapple
The rope.
thing, and it's like there's no weapons you can load out or
No.
something. Like just give me something to do, bro. Like this is it's just go this path and that's it. Jump, jump, and then shoot. Maybe the shootout scenes they're really a few in between, which it's actually pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, like those scenes are cool because what I like is that you go on duck or like not duck, you go on cover, and then like the things around you crumble, right? So you
Mhm.
can stay in cover for very long.
And
So
they
that
throw
was really well
grenades at you
done.
too, and things like
They
that.
throw grenades,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have to get out. So yeah, you can't like stay. But dude, this is a problem with a lot of Sony games. They're not games. They're just like
The
here's a
cinematic.
movie.
Yeah.
Huh?
The
The
cinematic.
what? Yeah, but it's like you still have to be able to give me a game. Like I can totally understand. Like, and you know what? And I like in Final Fantasy 16, there's a crap load of cinematics, right? Like a lot. Yeah, at least in the beginning, there's a lot of it, like a lot of cutscenes. But at least there's like, okay, you can upgrade this, you can do this, and you can do that. Like there are things that you can do in that game. So I don't know, man. Like all of Sony games are starting to be this like very Ubisoft kind of style, like very like a path that is already done for you. So you don't think, you don't choose weapons, you don't choose anything. You just go that way, and that's it. And that's to me that's those aren't games. For that, I watch a movie. I rather watch a movie than do that. You
Well,
know.
not
So
all of them are like that though. I think God of War is it's what you're telling me, and you don't seem like you really liked Uncharted 4 that much because of you know
right,
the the straightforward thing that it is
right.
that you don't really get to
Very linear,
upgrade anything.
extremely linear.
uh,
No, bro. That's not a game. That's not a game. Dude, there was
hey,
all right, so this is another thing that really pissed me off. Sorry to like interrupt.
no, no, go
So
ahead.
there was one scene where you like swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get to the other like grab like thing that you have to grab.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like when you're swinging, it doesn't even let you swing forward and backwards. You just press up and it does the whole entire swinging process. It's just like
Really, I haven't noticed
I
that
mean,
because I
even
guess
something
I
even
intuitively I was doing it back and forth.
yeah,
I
dude, but
didn't know
like
that.
not when you're in the grapple. When you're in the grapple, you do need to do that. But when he's like holding onto something with his hands,
Mhm.
and you don't get the option to swing back and forth. You literally just press up, and he does the swinging on its own the whole time. And I was like, well, why? I mean, I know it's a super small thing and so dumb, but it's like it is so it's lacking so much depth at even that part. But
Yeah.
and it pisses me off because the game is beautiful. Like it looks gorgeous, and the lighting is great. When you're in the forest, it's gorgeous. It's like I just wish there was a game here. Why is there not a game here?
You're
Like it
hating
just
too
looks
much on my
so
game, man.
good.
You're hating too much. Let's
Huh?
move on.
Dude, oh
Uh,
man. But anyway, I mean, right now it's getting good. Like I do like where I'm at right now because again, it's like open area, and I'm in this lost city or whatever
yeah,
the storyline goes, and it's really really cool. It's like exploring. You can go into this house here, and so at least I'm. But that's I think chapter 14, 13, something like that, which is
late in the
almost
game.
at the end of the game. Yeah. So anyway, but I'm gonna finish it because obviously I've gotten this far.
Yeah,
So
dude,
I'm
finish
not
it. I
gonna,
mean, now that you're liking
yeah,
it, you got this far, and if it's becoming better for you in a way, and the gameplay
yeah,
part
yeah.
say
It's
you finish
improving.
it, you're probably not that far off.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so I'm gonna read to you from Steam the next game that I've played and I finished. This one says,
Oh,
save humanity from extinction in a post apocalyptic action adventure. Experience blistering combat and a twisting storyline as you unravel the mysteries of Earth's downfall. And I'll give you an extra hint here, but to me, this is the next. I think this came out last year, so I think in Wukong came out 2023, right?
no, 24, like
Came
early
out last year.
2024. I think it was like
Okay,
February. I think.
so this to me is another Wukong in how it plays, the combat, and also because it was a game that not many people were thinking it was going to be good, but it was really good.
Oh my God,
Any idea?
damn, a post-apocalyptic. I mean, that's like super generic. Like, there's so many of those.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
Well,
it Adam Fall?
I don't follow. No. No.
Okay.
This one's. I'm telling you, it's like Wukong. It's a fight. A fighting game like that. Well, not a fighting game, but
I see.
the way you fight is like that.
Yeah, damn, I don't know, bro.
All right. Well,
I
it's
have no idea.
once I tell you, you're gonna go, oh yeah, that one. Stellar Blade. Yeah. See.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
played. Remember,
yeah,
we played the demo, and we neither of us kind of liked it. So
yeah,
I did again. I did have access to the game, so I was the full game. So I was like, you know what?
yeah.
It the demo is a demo, and the full game could be different. Maybe it'll grab me. Let's give it a try. And I ended up
Okay,
finishing the
yeah.
whole game.
Okay,
It
okay.
was
So it
good.
did
It was
grab
good.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
ask me anything about the story. No idea.
So then what was good about it?
The
Just
combat,
the
yeah,
fighting,
the
the combat.
combat's
Okay.
really good. The graphics, really, really good. Not so much on the outside, the open areas, but once you go like in the interiors of places, oh man, it looks
Yeah.
good. Like the details
Yeah.
on the
Okay.
walls and the enemies, and I don't know what it was, but I was seeing everything clear. You know how you could? I mean, I have a 1440p screen, and I guess I was seeing the full 1440p because it looked really clear, crisp.
Sharp.
How I like the graphics to look. Yeah, it looked really good. The combat, very good. There's it's what you like. There are things for you to upgrade to get different
Yeah.
moves, and you upgrade your health, your MP, your well, I guess they call it BE in this one, the beta, and
Hmm.
things like that. Like it was really, really good. I don't know. I think it's like $50 right now. Maybe you could wait for a big
Yeah.
sale,
I
maybe
mean,
$30 or so. But it's a really good game.
I think it was part of the. Was it part of the summer sale in Steam? I don't remember if it was, but um,
Well,
let me
I,
check.
I'm on Steam
Anyway,
right
but
now, and
yeah,
it's
the
60 still.
okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're saying it's good, I could give it a shot.
Yeah, but
Um,
I don't want you to pay, $60, and then you go, oh, you told me it was good. You told me Uncharted 4 was good.
oh man,
Yeah, just
let me
just wait, just
see.
wait. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper at GG Deals if you go there. It's probably maybe
Yeah.
$5-10 off. Um, yeah, so I do recommend that if you did like Wukong, you like this. Now,
Okay.
not nothing really changed from the demo to the full game. The the what we talked about last time, where when
Yeah.
you fight the enemies, it's not like you're hitting them; it's like it's going through and stuff.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
there are some instances in which you can tell, like, oh yeah, she's hitting them because, like, when you because you can block, so when you block, yeah, boom, you can see it hit you and stop right there where you're blocking it. So it's
Yeah.
really good though. I mean, I do recommend it. I really do.
Okay. It's $50 on Eneba.
50.
So 50. Yeah.
Okay,
Not bad.
just wait, because
I could. Yeah. I'll wait until it's like 30 something, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
jump on that.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
when you feel like, oh, you know
Um.
what, I want to play it now. By then, it could be the $30 that you're looking for.
Yeah. And I think I'm willing to give it another shot because we discussed this. We said like
Yeah,
it was a demo, so maybe
yeah,
most likely
and
gets better after this, and
and
I'm sure
and
it does. So
and again, the combat is still the same as the demo. It's just that as you go through the
there's
game, you
more
get
to it.
more. Yeah, you get to upgrade your moves and stuff like that. So it was really good. Now
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna leave the other two for later on because we're going kind of long here, 22 minutes in, and we haven't talked about the news. So
Yeah.
let's get into the news, and
Okay.
and I will talk about the other two because this is real quick for the other two. Um, all right. So as I said in the beginning, there's been some layoffs and some cancellations of some games, and there were some statements from Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, but I'm not gonna read them because, as you know, they're
They're
PR.
long.
Well, and they're just PR
Oh
talk,
yeah.
right? They're saying the same thing they
Corporal
always
talk.
do. Yeah. So it's just, oh yeah, nothing against the people we're laying off. They were really good. They made good games, but we're firing you. So it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. They praising these people and then saying, okay, yeah, yeah, you gotta go. So I'm not gonna read all that.
Okay.
Instead, what I will say is, I hope they get a job as soon as possible. I do know that Microsoft or Xbox themselves said, go ahead and apply within, and we'll give you priority, so we could get you into another, another maybe developer, and that way you can
Right.
continue to have a job. And I'll say real quick because I mean, if it were me and I would get fired from Xbox and they tell me apply within, I'm gonna apply within because that's, I guess, to at least have a job, right? Sooner than going outside and trying to apply
Yeah.
somewhere else, for now. But I would
Right.
still apply outside because why would I want to continue with Xbox to then maybe get let off again when this has been happening
Yeah.
for the past 2 years? Well, it's been happening
Yeah.
longer than
More
that,
maybe.
but it's been happening more
Yeah.
often now, lately, within the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get into the games that were uh, canceled in a few minutes, but anything you want to say about the layoffs?
I mean, at that point, like it sucked. It really does suck for
It
those
does.
who are going through that, right? 100%. Like, there's no way around that. Now, I don't have all the details, and I don't think any of us have any of the details, but did they say if this was like developers or was it more like non-developer roles like advertising or marketing, or
No,
did they say?
they didn't specify, what
Right.
departments, so we don't know exactly. As
Right.
you said, that's a good observation.
Because mine,
Yeah.
my understanding, or from what I've read, is like nobody knows any details, but it's like so hypothetically, and I'm not excusing any of this because I
Right.
know it sucks to lose a job, right? But like, what if you're what if you have like a massive marketing team that is covering everything? Does every single studio need their own particular marketing team, for example, right?
Right.
Probably not. And so, at that point, it is part of consolidation, unfortunately, of when these
Yeah.
mega mergers happen. Um, so I haven't really heard of developers, and I might be wrong. I don't know all the details, but I haven't heard of like developers who are making the games actually be the ones laid off. I
Well,
thought, my understanding, it's been a lot of like non-developer roles that
so
have been laid off.
I haven't read
I don't know.
specifically, you know, what departments and things like that. I do know that the
Right.
initiative, which was making Perfect Dark, they got
Has been shut down.
yeah, shut down.
And this is another thing too. So also on that game, right? This was like when was initiative started? 2018,
2018.
I think it is, right?
Yeah.
So from what I understand as well is that this was a vertical, from what a lot of people have been saying, this is like a vertical slice. What they showed at the
Last year.
when they did the last year, it was a vertical slice of the game. So let's say the game really hasn't been advancing. What if they like, oh, we're another 3 years away from releasing the game, but it's like you've been at it since 2019, 2020.
So let's
Like that's
say,
a
yeah,
long time
yeah,
for a game to still be in development. So like I get why they'd be like, and I that was like the game that I really wanted to see out of all the games was Perfect Dark because I'm a huge Perfect Dark fan.
yeah.
So I was like, I really wanted to see that game, but at the other token, everyone around the world is always been saying like these games take too long to come out. These games take X amount of money for it to be released. It's like, well, they're kind of doing that. They're cutting the funding early, or they're doing they're like ending the projects earlier because like so many people, whenever Redfall came out, so many people were like, oh, they should have gone in earlier, they should have canceled this
Mm-hmm.
game, they
Or
should
give
have
them more
done this.
time.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, or like get more, whatever it is, right? Like they should have like gone in earlier. So now they're kind of going in earlier, and people still complain, that
Yeah.
this is a problem. It's like, look, I get it as a management issue, right? Because obviously 6 to 8 years to make one game is an incredible amount of time, and so they should have probably been further along. I don't know the whole story, right? But I highly doubt that they would cancel a game that was almost finished,
I didn't think it
right?
was almost
Like,
finished either. I mean, we did see that
right,
vertical slice last year, but even to me, when we saw it last year, it didn't look like it was somebody playing and playing it, you know?
right.
Like
Yeah, it looked
it
like a
looked like it was
CG
canned
setup.
and like maybe they had
Yeah,
it, like, you know how you can make a movie with in-game, right? I think that's what they sort of did, but just had you
right,
always looking at the first person view. So yeah, but the thing about it is that it's not that they went in early or they went in late. For this one, at least, it's that it's just being canceled. And just like you, I was kind of looking forward to it. I mean, it wasn't the game of the show for me last year. It was Gears, but
right.
I wanted to play this one. It looked good for what they showed, and now we're not getting it. And it's so
Yeah,
crazy too that they showed us that the vertical slice, and then the following year when we're thinking, oh, we're gonna see it next year. Oh, maybe not. We didn't see it, and now
right,
it's being canceled. And we were already thinking, oh, they probably show it, in 2026, and we'll see a little bit
right.
more, maybe real gameplay this time, or maybe a cutscene or whatever. But it sucks that it's being canceled, and the developers were shut down too.
Yeah. No, and I think that that's a thing too, right? At that point is, okay, how do you what I don't know if there's a good answer for that, but when is it good to cancel a game, right?
Yeah,
I don't, I wouldn't know, but it's okay, you cancel early on, and then you're like, but we didn't give them the chance to develop it, right? Because you cancel it too early. And then if you cancel it too late, then it's like, oh well, it was halfway done or whatever. You didn't give them a chance. It's like, well, there's no way to win in that process. You just have to. If the game isn't further along, you just got to cut your losses at that point, right? Because you definitely don't want to have what Redfall was, right? Like that's not go through the process, release it, and then have the game bomb, right? I think that's worse because you've invested so much money into it and then released it and then still didn't do good, right? And so it's hard. I mean, that's not for us to make those decisions, but it is
No.
decisions that have to be made, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it sucks because this was particularly a studio that was made to do kind of like a first party
Yeah.
studio and just jumpstart that process. But yeah, I mean, it sucks, and I don't know the extent. Like I said, we don't know the extent of the layoffs, right? We don't know if it was marketing. From my understanding, it is more non-developing roles, which is kind of also and from one of the things with that one of the emails that somebody wrote, I think Phil Spencer or somebody, I forget who it was, Matt Booty maybe. They were saying that it was also management that had been cut out, right? And that's one of the things that so many people were also talking about. Like, why don't we get rid of the managers? It's like people who are making decisions on these games and all this other stuff. It's like, bro, you got it. And then now you're complaining that they're getting laid off. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't complain that some people need to go, especially management who are making these decisions, and then also complain whenever they are let go. It's like that's unfortunately that's how it goes, and that's what people were kind of calling for. It's like, hey, if somebody's making the wrong decisions, then they have to go. And from my understanding, they did can a good percentage of managers, which are also making the decisions, right? And so I don't know. Like, what do you say about that, right? It's like, hey, these people need to go, but then now when they go, then now you're not you particularly, but just in general, people complain when they actually get let go. So then, what do you do?
And that's the thing. It's like you said, we don't see what Xbox sees. Maybe they are not looking at it periodically as they maybe should, so it doesn't get to this point, and then maybe catch it a little earlier, even before they announce the game, right? Because it's better if you don't announce
Right.
the game
Yeah.
and cancel it. It sounds a lot better that way. But
Yeah.
once we get to see it, and especially the way they showed it last year, it's like, okay, what really happened there? Because they don't go into details, and they don't need to. Like, they don't have to give
You're
us,
right. Yeah.
it's not our money. We didn't pay anything for it. It's their money, so they know
Right.
what they're doing, right? We didn't even get to pre-order the game, so it's not like, hey, I pre-ordered the game.
Right.
So yeah, they know what they're doing for sure. It's just a little upsetting because we were expecting it, we wanted to play the game,
Right.
so and now it's not coming
One
out. Yeah.
one thing I would also say too is that so whenever they announce like Everwild and Perfect Dark, right? They were still in the purchasing air like mindset. Think about that for a second, right? Like
For activation.
I don't know if they had already. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even think they had already bought Bethesda at that point or Cinemax when they announced Perfect Dark,
No,
or maybe they did. I don't know.
no, I don't think so.
But
They
so they had to show things early because they had nothing. But now
mm,
that you bought Cinemax and now that you bought Activision with a crap load of studios underneath them, right? Then now you could be like, hey, these games, like now you can take your time announcing games. It doesn't have to be right away. So I
yeah,
think these two games, like Everwild and Perfect Dark, were one of those games that they announced super, super early because they had nothing in the pipeline. And then once all the deals came through and they bought everybody, and then now you can take your time. You can be like, hey, I'll announce things whenever I want to because I have so many in the pipeline. And so you
yeah,
can really take your time and then if that doesn't work out, if there are some sort of delays, well, you have a crap load of things third party to announce through Game Pass. So they have a lot of leverage now, which they might not have had whenever they announce these
yeah.
games early on. So that's another aspect that we don't know, right? It's like because if Perfect Dark wasn't even in development when they announced it, and then they started developing, and then 3 years later they've only have like 10% done of the game, then it's like, bro, how much time do you actually need to make this game? And to like, it would be the next Xbox at that point, PS6
Yeah,
at that point when these games are coming out, and that's a long
probably.
time for development. And at that point, even if you make $100 million of that game, you probably wasted 3 4 times that in that whole time.
Yeah.
So it's not worth the profits that you're getting at the end because it takes way too long. So I get it. It sucks, and I'm not a, a developer, and I'm not a business person. So I'm only stipulating, but that's the reality of it, right? Like Microsoft is a cutthroat business. They've always been that way. Every business is that way, right? They do what they need to do to cut everybody off, and so they're gonna do those things, right? And so unfortunately, like it sucks, but the people are the ones who uh who uh who suffer, like the developers or whoever is getting laid off are the ones who suffer.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and I
we'll see
remember,
what happens.
back with the original Xbox, maybe not so much, although we did get quite a few games that were only on Xbox. And then, but for the 360, I mean, every business is always doing business because they want to make money.
Right.
But when we had the 360, they were doing business, but we were also getting the games. But nowadays, it's just takes so long, so much money, and like you said, you got to do the
Yeah.
math. Is it worth it if I cancel the game? Because I'm pretty sure if they cancel the game, it's a tax write off, right? Something to do with the taxes, so they're able
Maybe.
to pay. I don't know. I don't know if they'll get everything back
Well,
or something.
if they close studios, right, then it's definitely like, okay, this is like a write off, right?
Okay, well,
Because they shut down the entire operation.
so then
Um,
yeah,
but
that would
yeah,
be for the
you're
initiative.
right,
But yeah,
and
but
you're right that. Oh,
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, no, go. I was gonna move on, but go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it's just that the timing and the cost of things have gotten exponentially more,
Very.
like way more. And trust me, this is not going to be the last time that this happens at Microsoft or any of the other
Oh
companies
no.
whatsoever, right? Like we're gonna and if it was, I don't, again, we don't know, but if it was an actual developer that got laid off, that sucks because it's even more difficult to find work. If it was like marketing and management, okay, maybe there's other companies, there's other marketing parts of different things that are not gaming related that you can go into, right? So at least there's some hope. But right now, the entire gaming industry, at least for developers, this is really rough.
Yeah. So yeah, but that was Perfect Dark and uh, the initiative, which we just didn't mention, but uh, Crystal Dynamics was helping the initiative do this game,
Mhm.
make this game, and I don't know what happened
Yeah,
there. I mean, I don't think it's Crystal Dynamics. That's different, but they no longer have that funding from Xbox to be able to do that. So now they got to find something else to do. But then we also have Everwild, which was only shown once, and every
yep,
year we were expecting it to be shown at I was gonna say E3, but the showcase in June, and we
right.
never saw it. We never saw it. We never saw it. And now lately, within last year, now this year, since they have still haven't shown it, we were thinking, okay, well, what's going on with this? Are they still making this game? Is it canceled? Is it gonna be canceled? And now we know it's really canceled. We're not gonna see this game at all.
Yeah, right.
Uh, then we have Turn 10 Studios, which is the developers for Forza Motorsport. The half of the studio is being let go, and again, we don't know if it's just marketing or PR or whatever.
Right.
But half the studio is gone, laid off. And I know this is your kind of game. My game is the Forza Horizon one, but I know you liked the Motorsport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like the Motorsport a lot. So that was like one of those games that I have not completely 100% achievements, but almost up there. Yeah, and I don't. Did they? Was that confirmed that it was 50% of the studio, or is that
Yeah.
still a rumor?
Let's see. I've gathered everything we know so far. Yeah, it looks like it is. Maybe not 100%, but it's what's being talked. And it's not a. It doesn't seem like it's a rumor, but it's what it's being talked about right now. 50% of the
Okay, I
Telltale
mean
Studios, about 70 jobs.
that is. Oh,
Or 70
okay.
people,
I mean
because
that's
they're like
still a
100 and
lot of
change.
people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was under the impression that also that was a rumored number, 50%. That I don't remember reading or hearing anything that was specific. I mean, they say like, hey, it is. We've been told that it's been 50% by like other employees and stuff like that, but
Okay.
I don't know how accurate it is. But anyway, regardless, right? It
Yeah.
sucks that that team is having people because those are some of the highest rated games. Both Forza Motorsport is not as highly rated as the Horizon, but
Yeah.
it's really the only simulation racer that Microsoft has,
The first
or
party.
that they
Yeah.
do first party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's actually a really well done game. I really enjoy that game. And so it sucks. I hope that they make more, but I also understand that that type of racing is very niche, right? And so if they're gonna do more of those, I think they would be multi-platform, and just kind of like Forza Horizon is.
So,
Um,
so,
and you know, yeah,
because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the newest Forza Motorsport was made as a platform, and they're gonna be adding to it instead of. I mean, at least for a while, supposedly,
mm,
from what I
like kind
remember
of like a
hearing.
Halo, like a 10-year plan kind of thing.
It's something like that, where they were just
Maybe
gonna
not that long, but
where they
yeah,
were just gonna be adding stuff to it and not make a sequel to it, at least for a while. It's what I
yeah,
heard that it was gonna be. So if that's the case, then maybe with 50% of the developers, they're able to continue maintaining it and adding stuff to it.
yeah,
Instead of making a new game, when the time comes when they want to make a new game, I guess they'll have to hire
yeah.
people, unless they want to take 10 years to
I
make it.
I had heard about that, but I think that that makes sense. I don't think a motorsport every year makes sense. Like that type of game, I don't think every single year you're gonna have enough advancement in the engine and just in graphics and in general work to be leagues above what you've done. So I think waiting a few years in between, kind of like how well they wait too long, but kind of how GT on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah,
Um, how it is, but that is a long time. That's like 7 years in between. That's a little too long, but yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 years in between. That I think that could work. Um, and then Forza Horizon every like 3 years, so that can also work.
yeah. Every
Space
two
them
or
out a
three
little
years
bit.
is fine. Yeah, for Forza Horizon,
Yeah,
supposedly next year we're gonna see the next Forza Horizon. So we'll see how that looks. I'm pretty sure it's gonna look amazing because
yeah,
the five looks so good, and imagine just six how it's gonna look. Um,
yeah. I think that they have a really good team for that, and I hope that whatever got laid off from that team is not developers and is like I said, like the marketing part and all. The excess. Not that it makes it any better. I'm just
right,
saying
right,
that
right. Yeah,
for the sake of the games, I hope that is not the developers.
yeah. And there
So,
were other things, and there's quite a few things that would happen there where uh, unknown numbers out on dead lands, Xbox Communication, Global Publishing, Bethesda. There's
right.
quite a few that we cannot go through because it's too much, but because it's about 9,000 laid off, not just from Xbox, but within Microsoft. So
Yeah.
uh, I wish them the best. What I would say, I mean, they're not gonna hear me, but if I were to give them an opinion, not an opinion, but maybe a tip, it would be if you're gonna look for a job, try to look for a job in one of the companies that are double A or indies, because it these layoffs seem to be happening with the triple A studios mostly. Those that want to make
Right.
games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. If you look within the past year, which games have been selling good? Expedition 33, even though it was in Game Pass, Stellar Blade that
Yeah.
I just played has sold more than they thought it would, especially now that it came to PC. And the reason why it sells more than they thought is because their expectations are very low. And not just that, but they're
Yeah.
also a developer, right? They don't have hundreds of people working there, so they're able to make that money back, even though they sell 1 million, maybe 2 millions. They don't have to be looking at ten
Yeah.
millions to make it even at least. And so if you
Mhm.
go, try to go for one of those companies because it looks like you'll be there longer than if you were to go with a AAA.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
the problem with that then is if they're a smaller team, are they really going to be hiring more and more people, right?
yeah,
Are they growing? Because that's the whole point of it is keep it small
yeah,
so that your profits are bigger, right?
yeah.
So
It's
it's
tough.
rough. And then if you do like go into one of those, then you think your pay is going to be the same thing as like Microsoft or PlayStation or Nintendo, you know, the big companies, your pay is not going to be the same,
Wow.
right? And so you're getting a downgrade in pay technically. But I mean, it's an assumption, but
Right.
like it makes sense, right? Like if you're going into a smaller team, a smaller company, there's no way you're going to be paid the same as a massive corporation. But and then also just are they even hiring? The whole point is to have a small team so you're maximizing your profits. So yeah, it's rough, dude.
Yeah. So I do have two other games that they're not in the list here that were canceled or um, cut down or anything like that or delayed even. They haven't really said anything about it. But Contraband, we haven't seen that game in a while.
Oh yeah, that's
What
true.
about that game? Is it gonna be canceled between now and next year because we haven't seen anything or heard anything about it? That's another one that's kind of worrisome because we don't know anything
I
at
mean,
all.
I think it's the same deal where it's is it 20% of the game done or is it like 80% done?
I'm
Then
sure
it's
they're
like okay,
looking at
well if it's
that.
80% then we continue, right? If it's like under 50% done, then no, we're gonna. It's already been like 4 years since it's been
Oh,
announced,
four
or
years.
wherever that was,
Uh,
4 or 5 years. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
it's been a
it's been a
while,
while, right?
and we
And
haven't
so,
seen anything.
so the you, yeah, and then you're telling me you're gonna need another 3 to 4 years to
Yeah,
make this an 8 year game? That's that's a long time,
that
bro.
that's the problem
So
today
yeah,
nowadays, man. Before we got
yeah,
we and we mentioned this before. Like we got Gears 1, 2, and 3 within the 360. So
yeah,
and well, the other Gears Judgment that was another company, but 1, 2, and 3 came out in the 360, and the 360 was what 7, 8 years.
yeah, something like
So
that. Yeah, it was
right, so
shorter
we
than
got three
yeah,
games in 8 years, and now we can't even get one.
yeah.
It's crazy. Uh,
But that's happening with every major game, right? Like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
every
I'm not saying it's just the Xbox.
big
Yeah,
franchise.
uh,
Yeah.
PlayStation's the same way. Um,
No, what?
not
Yeah,
not
yeah. No,
Nintendo though.
PlayStation, EA
Nintendo,
is the same way.
yeah.
Everybody, even Nintendo, bro. When was the last time you saw a Donkey Kong Country game?
Well, not because they
Right?
were
Like,
making, not because it took 7 years to make it. It's just I guess they weren't playing it or making it at all.
yeah.
At least that's what I
But
think. Maybe.
even I don't know, like what's it? The Pokemon games. Do they come out every year? Like I
They
don't know
come
how
out
long it
every
takes
year.
between. They come out every year? Do
Yeah,
they? Oh my God, that's crazy.
maybe not every year, but at least every year or 2 years, something like that. But they come out pretty
Okay.
often. Yeah.
Very frequently. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyway.
And
But
and
yeah,
what
like
about?
it's a
Oh,
problem.
Yeah, it is. They gotta Phil and everybody else who's managing these games. They need to get on it. Hey, what's going on with this? How can we make it move forward? What do you need? Okay, are you having problems
Yeah.
with this? Let me get, if it's a Unreal Engine, let me get Coalition, let me get um, Ninja Theory, since they know Unreal to help you. Things like that. Like, look into it. The other game that I
Yeah.
was thinking of is State of Decay 3. When was it last year they showed it? It was last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that one is gonna get canceled, to be honest, because we've
Mm,
already seen it multiple times.
yeah,
And if
but
they
it's
were
not
gonna
like we're
cancel, they would have done
seeing,
it already.
we're not seeing really gameplay on this.
Yeah, you're right. We have not seen gameplay in any of the two
Mm.
showings that they've had.
Well, especially
But
Contraband. Contraband was just a little teaser. And instead of the K3
right.
last year, they showed gameplay in quotes. I don't believe it. I believe, uh, I believe
I don't believe
Perfect
it.
Dark more than this one. DK gameplay. Because Perfect
Oh,
Dark,
I
you
see.
could see
Interesting.
like you're in the world, but the other one, the camera
Right.
movement, State of Decay 3, the camera movement was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's not you. So
Right.
we, if anything, if this game is still going on, we have to see it next year.
Yeah, or maybe we see it in the developer direct in February, whenever they do those, like early in the year. You know,
Okay. Well,
that's also. I think that one is more further along, only because they would not have shown another trailer or another whatever CGI, whatever it is, right? If it
right.
wasn't like at least further in,
You you can't
I
say
don't think
that
they would.
anymore. Which takes me to my next question. Can you trust Xbox? Because they showed gameplay and boom, they canceled it. So you can't
Yeah,
say, oh well, they showed State of Decay 3, so that one's gotta be coming out. We don't know
you're
yet.
right. You're right. But
Yeah, we
and
don't
this is
know.
this is the thing is, I don't think it's just relegated to Xbox. I think the entire industry. I don't trust anybody until I actually see the game, because for as long as I know, within the entire history of video games, they always show some CGI trailer. They always show something that does not look anything like the game. You know, like they've done this over and over and over again for decades,
Always.
and people still fall for it. You know, always, bro. It is like, no, like you need to have it in your hands. You need to see gameplay. You need to be playing it in order for you to actually make a a concise opinion of it. Because all these CGI trailers, all this like quote unquote in engine
Yeah.
games, it's like, no, this is they did the same thing with The Witcher, the new Witcher game, right? It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, they said this is running on PS5, but then they came out afterwards saying like, no, well, actually, this is what we, hoped to kind of target, but it's not really. It wasn't a
It's
gameplay. It
not the
wasn't running. It
game.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna look like this. It's like, so then why even show it? And so, but you're right. Like we've gone through this, and I don't think we should trust any of these companies in
No,
general,
not
with
anymore.
whatever they're showing, because they're just marketing and they're trying to hype up the game. And like, imagine seeing the Wolverine or the Blade trailer and be like, wow, that game is gonna look amazing. Like, it's not gonna look like that. They're CGI trailers. And the problem is, we've had this for every single year since the release of these games. We've had these things happen. CGI trailer after CGI trailer, and it's not real gameplay, and it's not real gameplay until you actually play it yourself. Then it becomes real gameplay.
Yeah, next year when they show whatever they're gonna show, I'm gonna be really, really skeptical. Not just from what I'm seeing, if it's gameplay or not, because you could tell, we play games, we know how games move and how they play.
Right.
So you can't just show me State of Decay 3 and expect me to really believe somebody was playing. So we'll know.
Right.
But but it's just in the sense now that you're gonna show me a game, and even if you're playing it yourself with the controller in your hand, I'm still not gonna be like, oh yeah, when is this game on
Yeah.
it? Oh, this game it's gotta be coming out next year. I can't be like that
Yep.
anymore. I can't be hurt again. You can control that, but I'm gonna try my best not to get too excited for things like that. Unless it's like
Um,
Gears, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna get canceled. Whatever they're working on Halo, that could happen. Maybe they could cancel whatever they're doing now and start from scratch or whatever. Fable is another one I was thinking, oh man, could that one also get canceled? I mean, they showed gameplay, or not game, well, yeah, they showed gameplay,
no, it was gameplay. Yeah.
yeah, but it's still, like, right now, we don't know. It's crazy to think like
Yeah.
that.
No, it doesn't matter if you're a successful studio. It doesn't matter what
It
happens,
doesn't
right?
matter.
Yeah, you still could get closed or canceled, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that is, I mean, like, it's crazy to me that everybody has been, everybody in the industry is doing that, right? Because even I think PlayStation, people from like Insomniac or something like that, I forget which studio, like one of their biggest studios, they had some, not a huge massive layoff, but they had some people
yeah, yeah.
laid off in those studios. And it's like, bro, these are your prime studios. And even for Xbox, right? They had the, what was it? One of the Call of Duty studios. Didn't they get also like a good chunk
Raven,
of them?
yeah,
Yeah, it's like, bro, these are your money makers. How do you lay off people in these areas? It's crazy. So no one
yeah,
is safe. No one.
yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the next news. Uh, Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. This is a PlayStation game that I got it on Steam. You got it on Steam. We were playing it there last year when it came out. Was it last year? I
I
think
think so.
so. Yeah,
Has it been a year? Maybe a year and a half.
something like that. All right. So, but yeah, and I'm gonna say here what I said for Forza Horizon 5 when it went to PlayStation, except that it's now the PlayStation game coming to Xbox, and I'm gonna say Xbox players are in for a treat. This game is fun.
Yeah.
Well, earlier
Good.
you were telling me that we should get back to it. Yeah, we should play it because it is fun, and I don't know why we
Yeah.
don't go and play. Maybe once in a while, not every day, like we started, like we did at the beginning, but
Yeah.
once in a while because it's a fun game, man.
It was very good. Yeah. I wish there was more than four people, to be honest, but it's very good. I wish there was like eight people. Imagine how much more chaotic it would be if it was like eight people. Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
But or
chaotic
six, yeah, six people. I don't
because
know, but
the friendly fire
it's
there
cool.
is even without wanting to. Because I remember when I got one of the weapons, electricity weapons, and I shot at one of the enemies, the electricity would ricochet out of it and it would hit
Yeah,
you guys, and I didn't know it was doing that. So
it was electrocuting
uh,
everybody around.
it was a fun game, man.
Oh man,
So yeah, it's now coming to
it
Xbox.
was good.
So if you want more PlayStation games on Xbox, buy this game. I mean, it's a start, and it's multiplayer. So
Yep.
yeah,
I think out of all the games that PlayStation makes, well, I mean, this isn't even technically a PlayStation game. They're just a publisher
publisher, yeah.
because it was another, yeah. But either way, out of all the games, maybe because PlayStation doesn't make this one, it's actually a really really good game. It's they're not really good at multiplayer games, and so this is an awesome multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really fun. It's really good, and I do want to. I did what's really cool, at least on PC, right? I added Master Chief mod,
Oh
so I'm
yeah,
like I'm dressed as Master Chief in the game, so,
that's funny, man.
so it fits.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
actually
It
kind
does.
of fitting.
They
So
could do that.
yeah,
They
it's
could sell
really,
that skin on Xbox.
yeah, dude, it's so good. But yeah, no, it's a good game. I think everybody, and I think with, I wish this game would have launched
They won
on
everywhere.
Xbox from the get go. Day one,
Yeah.
because it would have been a massive, even more of a hit than it already is.
Oh
It would have
yeah.
been this massive thing where everybody can get into it, and even on the Switch too, like releasing on Switch too. So like that would be a super fun time for everybody, and I think that's any multiplayer game. If you really want to have a good reach and a good healthy population in the game, you have to do it everywhere. And I'm glad that it's finally coming to Xbox. It's a great game.
Yeah, and one of the questions I wanted to ask is will it be enough or will it sell enough so that Sony, looks at it and says, okay, you know what, every multiplayer game will go there. Even though, again, they're doing it a year and a half later. It's not going to be the same as
Yeah,
if it was day one. I'm pretty sure. I bet anything. If we could go back in time and have them do it day one, they're not. They're going to see way more sales than them releasing it now in August.
yeah.
So I wonder if
I
Sony's going to
think,
go and think, oh man, it didn't sell that much, so it's not worth it. Even if we go day one for multiplayer games on Xbox, it doesn't seem like it's worth it because they're not going to see the real numbers.
yeah. Well, I think that it's not exactly the same, but I think it gives you a picture. It gives you an idea that I think this is a test. What happens if we release a game that far out will still be successful? Because they technically know day one games with MLB The Show, they released it everywhere day one, right? Since they
Mm-hmm.
started doing, so they have enough
Yeah.
data to know, okay, are we actually selling enough there? And I think that if they didn't have that data, where there's like, oh wow, MLB actually sold a decent amount here. If they didn't know that, or if they knew that it wasn't going to sell at all based on the MLB numbers, then I think they wouldn't have released Helldivers 2. And I
Mm.
think based on that, they're like, oh wow, okay, we're actually, even if they sell, think about it, even if they sell 1 million copies, that's a ton of money for doing absolutely nothing. You're just porting it over,
Yeah.
right? So I think that they have obviously more numbers than we could ever have. They know exactly how much they have the data of how much they sold with MLB releasing on Xbox day one. From my understanding, and I know that this was on Game Pass the first time they released it on
Yeah. For a few
MLB
years.
on Xbox. Yeah, they did it like 2 years, 2 3 years, I think. Anyway, but my understanding is that it doubled the user base, so they know that they can get a lot of, 1 million or 2 more is a huge amount of people just for doing, like I said, doing nothing. You just porting the game over. So this is going to be a test. It's like, okay, well, if we release this a year and a half later and then we're still doing okay, maybe we can do more if we release it day
Oh, they'll
one,
do more.
right? Yeah, and like then you start to think about it, like, holy crap! Imagine if we do like Spider-Man here. I mean,
Why not? I wouldn't go that
dude,
far.
that is, I'm saying the money, right? Like, there is money there. And
Yeah.
especially with the amount of money that these games are costing, it's it's not unheard of to, like, I'm sure somebody there is thinking about it. Just like how Microsoft thought about, holy crap, look how much money we can make if we put this in PC, if we put it on PlayStation, if we do, they see the money. And for sure, PlayStation sees how much Microsoft is selling on their platform, right?
Oh
They have
yeah.
all those numbers. They're like, oh my goodness, like they release Sea of Thieves is like the top selling game when it released. They release Forza, top selling game when it's released, and they release like all these other games, top selling games. It's like, damn, like we're just getting 30% here. What if we put our games and get 70% over there? Right.
But
So I don't know. This money talks all the time.
yeah, but Sony is hard headed. I don't think they're gonna get to that point until they see that they are losing when they don't sell enough like they used to because they
Yeah.
haven't put out a game in over a year. Ghost of Yote is coming out this year, and we'll see how that one does because yeah, I think that one's gonna be $70, so it might sell well. But when they start selling the games at $80, it's not they're not gonna sell the same as before. So when they start seeing that they're not making the same amount of money that they used to with their first party, I think that's when they're gonna go, okay, well, you know what? Let's start with PC. So let's do PC day one with the first party, but they're not gonna go Xbox for a while. So, but I do
Yeah.
believe PC might be the next step or the first step.
Yeah. I mean, so if think about this for a second. Once they do that, right? If they do that, because we don't know, obviously, but I like you, I think it's the same trajectory, right? Where it's like we're missing out on a lot of money if we leave the PC out because inevitably they're going to lose sales, right? And at some point, the cost of the game is going to be too high for you to be picky about where you want to sell the game in.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens if the next Xbox is really a PC? And at that point, it's like, okay, day and
Uh,
date on Xbox. So
I think
that,
I think if that's it, because that's what everybody's thinking, that the next Xbox is gonna be basically a PC where you'll have Steam, and that's gonna make Sony think about it harder. Oh man, do we really want to put it on PC now? Because the Xbox console is gonna be able to get it day one as well, even though we're not putting it to Xbox, but they still have access to it. And I don't know if
yeah.
they'll like that because there's no way they can
I
stop
don't know if they
Steam
have.
from putting something where if you have Steam on the Xbox, you can download certain games. They're not gonna do that. So
Yeah, I don't. Once you see the money, I don't think it matters. I think
show me
that's
the money.
look. Yeah, it's look. Listen, Microsoft, just like Sony, they're companies. They're gonna look at money. They
Business.
they don't care about you. They don't care about
Yeah. But
like how
we spent
anybody, as you can
we
see.
just spent like
Yeah,
45 minutes talking about it. That they don't care about the
right.
people. They care about the money
They
coming
don't
in.
care about any exactly. So if let's say the next generation, if the money is still in the part where okay, it makes sense to keep games exclusives, if the money's there, realistically they'll stay there. But the reality of it is that it can't possibly stay there because now the whole ecosystem is so much oh not ecosystem like everybody PC platform is much bigger. They can't be ignored.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been huge, but now it's like it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't ignore that anymore. So if you like money, you're gonna cater to that. They have been catering to the PC. Like think about what they even with excuse me with Helldivers. Think about what they did there, right? They like were forcing everybody to use PlayStation Network, and then people were like, "Nope,
Nope.
we're not gonna do it." And then they quickly changed back, and they have the biggest community for that game is on PC, not on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so you start to think about it like, man, this is these games when they're being held to one platform. Sure, you will sell more consoles potentially, but you're selling to the same group of people, and you're losing money on the console for like the first couple of years. So at that point, it's like, damn, the money pit is large. At that point, you have to start thinking outside the box. And at
Yeah.
that point, if your competitors are doing PCs, I mean, you're already releasing on PCs anyway, so who cares, right? You're
Yeah.
making a ton of money anyway,
Yeah. Think
and
about
so
it.
I don't.
It
Yeah,
sorry, just think about it. If they released this day one on Xbox, it's been a year and a half. How much do you think they would have sold by now? A lot
yeah,
more than they'll sell between now and a year and a half later. A lot more.
yep,
Because with
yep,
the hype, everybody talking about it, the developers updating the game, adding stuff,
yep,
listening to the consumer, yeah,
yep,
they would have sold a lot more.
and not just the hype, but it's good for the game, the community for the game, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
everybody
more
can
people.
forget about platforms and just for like kind of focus on the game itself and like, oh, we love this game. Everybody hop on, no matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
like everybody gets to jump into it. So it's a detriment to the game whenever it's exclusive to any one platform.
yeah. Well, let's see. I do hope it does sell enough, you know, or more than enough for Sony to go, all right, at least every multiplayer game they want everywhere. We'll see what they
Yep,
do with the single player games, but at least multiplayer, it needs to be everywhere if you want to make the most money out of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think, wait, I think MLB, the show, is not on PC, right?
No, no, it's
They need
not.
to bring it to PC.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should. You're right.
So that needs to happen.
All right. That's it for the news. I did want to. I'm not going to talk about the two games that the other two games that I'm playing because one of them I haven't finished, and even though the one I'm going to be telling you about it doesn't have an end because it's a live service game. It came out a year ago.
Mm.
We tried it. We played it. Oh, you, Omega, and we played it. But then we stopped playing. But Omega didn't stop playing. He's been playing that every day, and I
Oh,
mean
I know.
every day.
I know what you're talking about.
So I started playing with Omega, um, let's say last week, and I've been
Yeah.
playing that almost every day. I got
Oh,
hooked.
snap.
I got hooked, bro.
Again? You
Well,
got
not again.
rehooked?
I never got hooked before. But now they've made so many changes that makes it a little not so easy, but it's easier now for you to grind, especially since Omega knows the game like the palm of his hand. He knows
Yeah.
everything. And so whenever I play, I make sure I play with him because he knows exactly what to do. Like if I tell him, hey, I want this weapon. Okay, yeah, you need this, you need that. Let's go do this, let's go do that. And we get the materials for it. I don't waste time getting the
Nice.
materials because of it. And then, you know how many descendants I have already? You start with one, right?
Yeah.
I,
I
I,
don't know how many they've added.
I don't know how many they have in total, but I do have, I think, six of them now. because
Okay. All right.
because he knows what to do. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you later, but there's a website you could go to pre-register, and they give you a token for a free descendant. So you should do that just
Okay.
in case you ever want to play it. But I'm playing it,
I'll play
and
again.
I'm
I
having
mean, I
fun.
liked it when we played it together.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like into it. I was like, okay, that's cool.
yeah. Because remember, we were looking for something
Uh,
like Outriders, and this game was
yeah.
announced while we were playing Outriders, and then we did try it, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. I guess it wasn't there for us at the time. So, but it's there now for me. Yeah, it's addicted.
Okay.
I don't want to get too addicted. I
Yo, let
did
me.
tell Omega, hey, listen, I don't want to get too addicted like you because I like playing other games. I don't want to be playing just
Yeah.
this.
You can't. Oh man, that's the problem. Though. You can't be hooked into so many games, right? Like you realistically, you only have like two, maybe three games that are live service that you can get hooked up because
Mm,
there's just not enough time.
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So it's yeah.
but yeah, the other game I'm gonna leave it for next week because it's a short game. I may be done with it by the time we do the next episode.
And are we
Uh,
ever gonna go back to Chain Together? Remember that game,
we could. I think my daughter asked me about it not too long
dude?
ago, so we could play.
Yeah, that was. We had a good. I had a good time with that
Yeah,
game
we
playing
didn't
with you
finish it. We
guys.
didn't get to the top.
Yeah, we did. And Repo. Oh man, Repo was
Oh
also
yeah,
really fun.
yeah, that was fun too.
Dude, we have to get back to that.
Oh man. All right. So
Yeah.
anything else that you wanna go through before we go?
No, no, man. No.
No.
I think we cover a lot, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens this week with news. Hopefully, there are better news coming.
Yeah, man.
In the next couple of weeks, and see what we can do. June is coming up, right? Wait, June already passed. Never mind.
We're in July.
I forgot.
Tony Hawk Pro
Yeah, we're
Skater
July.
3 and
Yeah.
4 and 4 is coming out in a few days. It's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
11th, right?
That.
The 11th or 17th?
Huh?
The 11th.
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember, but
Well,
it is earlier in July, not later in July. But yeah, that's coming out. Man, this I'm gonna try to finish the game tonight,
I tried it.
maybe. That. So you're saying, wait. So is it worth playing the other game, the other Uncharted in that? Or should I like stay with four and finish four and then that's it?
I'd say, I mean, you could give it a try. You could start it and see. I mean, the beginning is pretty linear for maybe 20 minutes because they're trying to show you the character, the introduction, and then it
Yeah.
opens up. So I'd say if you try it, get to where it opens up and see if you want to continue because it opens up just like
Okay.
like in the safari kind of area where you are in Uncharted 4. Not
Yeah.
the woods, or it's more like mud
Yeah, like the
and
muddy area.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know what you're
yeah.
talking
It
about.
opens up like that, and then like
Okay.
halfway
All
through the
right, maybe,
game,
maybe.
it becomes more linear, a little bit more linear, which is
So
what I like.
did you like that one better or you like the fourth one better?
No, I like the fourth one better. Yeah,
Yeah, better get me wrong. Okay.
yeah. The one with the two women, it became the game that I wanted it to be halfway through.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So it took a
didn't
long
really like
time,
the open areas
basically.
like that so much because you get an open area and there's like four things you have to do before going into
Yeah.
where I wanted, where the game started to be, what I wanted it to be, and you get to do those four things however you want. You could go to north, east, whichever you want first. So, get,
Yeah.
yeah, get to that
Okay.
part and see if you like it.
Yeah.
All right, let's
But
get
yeah,
out of here.
otherwise, other than that, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get out of here then. So, like, subscribe, follow, comment, and that's it
All
for
of the
this
above.
week's episode. Sorry.
I said all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. Say whatever you want. Let us know. And that's it for this week's episode, friends. So, till next time, be good gamers.
Peace.